Good to know.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I'm trying to find something online.
It's Sunday, May 14th, 2015. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I'm Chester.
This room is a pigsty, and you're a dirty pig boy.
And that makes me Gary.
Don't hurt nobody with your bad self.
Welcome to Cubs All Loud, the Bear Podcast of Indeterminate Length, episode number 415. And it's been a while. I missed you guys.
Aw, we miss you too.
Yeah. Too bad I can't travel. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully you all like the on the road show that they did, and hopefully we'll have something new going on with that soon. So I'm expecting a video, but we're having issues, it looks like. We'll get to that.
Yeah, it's called YouTube's a bitch.
I don't have any problems. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways. So, I got a job. I don't have an official start date or anything.
But you got a job.
I got a job.
But
Yay.
you have an offer.
I've been offered. It's been accepted. We're just doing all the paper shit. I think I go into something tomorrow, and well, timey-wimey. We'll talk about that.
You may have a
wait
job.
a minute. Where's my list?
You
What
may
is
have a
the-
job. You may have a job
I
when.
have a job, but I won't have started working by the time this show posts. So it'll be in a couple of days. But I'm going in for paperwork tomorrow, which was last week. So, time.
Got it.
So, and also, I'm doing a job in game of making Vantage rooms for my raid team and playing every day. So that's my job right now. Maybe I'll stream some. Maybe I should stream some of that for so you guys can see what the heck I do on a daily basis during my unemployment. Damon, what's going on?
Yeah. I've been back from Claw. I didn't have any run drop, which is a good thing. I didn't have any blues. I wish blah blah blah. There was a few kind of things, but for the most part, kind of positive experience. Good, time. But I did unfortunately catch a bit of a kennel cough. I will own that I've been not under the weather fully, but just having some congestion and whatnot that has been, which is pretty much a cough. And I've been not have a fever, not have anything else, but just a lot of congestion. And it could be kennel cough because it kind of came from the same rhyme, but it could also be the weather because it's been 60 degrees all week.
Did you ingest any water at the bathhouse?
Did I ingest any water at the bathhouse? No. I didn't.
I'm asking a legitimate question. Did you
No.
have your mouth open in the pool, or
No.
I'm asking if you got a cup out and started drinking it.
No. I get what you mean. I
thought that was like an underhanded way of asking if he swallowed something.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at. I didn't ingest any water, But
No,
anyway,
it's a legitimate question because when I go to runs where I'm in the pool a lot and I've got my little tumbler, I tend to leave it just floating out in the water. And when I take a drink, some of the water gets in.
no,
And that's typically where I get sick from is the water.
Well, no, that didn't happen. I will own, although I was there for a bear pool party, I really wasn't in the pool that long because it was at a bathhouse. Anyway, and also I've been back to work. Work has been pretty good. Just trying to catch up, which is kind of the crazy part. Is I was already behind before I went on vacation, and now that I've been back, I'm still behind. So it's getting a little stressful, but it's fine. We're good. The only issue I'll have is when we later on this month we move into what we call summer hours, which is where essentially you can get off 4 hours early on one day, and extend a vacation or what have you. And you have to be caught up to a certain point in order for that to really happen. So I doubt it'll happen the first couple of weeks. So anyway, yeah, that's been pretty much me. Chester?
Oh, let's see. I have been diligently planning stuff for Tidal Wave Gay Days at Disney, which is in 2 weeks-ish, depending on when people arrive. I arrive on the 29th. I know my friends start arriving sometime between the 29th and the 1st, because the 1st is the actual official first day of the run. So I have been waiting for my friends to let me know that they have their park tickets so I can start booking their fast passes. And we've got, I don't know, our group fluctuates anywhere between 5 to 15 people, depending on the day and which park we're going to and what we're doing. So it's really difficult trying to figure out who has their ticket, who hasn't got their ticket. Which park are these guys going to? Are you guys going to any dinners that we need to work around your reservations? So it's frustrating, but at the same time, I know it's going to be worth it when we get there and we're in the park and we're all doing stuff together. And at the end of the run, everybody has an amazing time, and it's worth the headache now.
That's good.
So yeah, I've been doing that. And I finished editing all my photos from Claw and sent them off to the media people at Claw.
Sweet.
Gary, how about you?
It's spring, right?
Yeah.
No. Well, technically, it's supposed to be.
Is
David's
it really fucking cold there?
No, it's not. Yeah,
It's really fucking hot there.
It is 46 degrees outside.
It's
Yeah.
4 degrees. What are you talking about?
It's May.
I get it, Jeffrey. You're in Texas. We got it.
I thought I would be wearing shorts more.
Yeah.
And instead, my furnace keeps kicking on, once to twice a day, because I have it set for a specific temperature, year round, and usually by this time it's done. I have a quilt on my bed at night because some nights it's freaking cold.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm so confused. I'm flowers are blooming, then they're not blooming. It's rained almost every day for a week.
Yeah. I've been, oh God. That's part of, I think, why this is all happening is that I've been, I came home yesterday after I'm going to it was Free Comic Book Day, May 1st, or May 6th, excuse me. And we went to go get comics and then came back home and it was 60 degrees outside, but it was 57 degrees in my house. So guess what got turned on yesterday? The heater. The heater got turned on. I've turned it on again today because it's just.
If it was warmer outside than it was inside, wouldn't you just like open a couple windows?
Yeah, you would think that, but I was lazy, so I was like, I'm lazy. I'm going to turn on the heat.
I don't know about you, but I would find that a little bit cheaper just to use the natural.
Yeah,
outside
it's
heat
cheaper.
Warm up your
Yes, probably totally cheaper. But again, I'm lazy. I don't feel like opening all the windows in the house and letting the air in.
For a house.
Yeah, I know. Again, I said the sacrifice was made. I wanted to be lazy. I wanted to be lazy. So turning on the heat I literally turned it on for a couple of hours yesterday to get the house temperature up to about 68, and then I turned it off, and it was fine. Like I didn't turn it on. I've just turned it on again today because I woke up this morning and it was 55 in the house. So, yeah. And it's on right now. I'll probably turn it off once we're done with the podcast because it's a matter for me. It's more a matter of comfort right now than it is of, like financial. Like I'm sitting here in a hoodie. Before we got here, I had another long sleeve shirt on and I had a blanket on over me and I was still cold. So I was like, nope, no, I'm just going to make the sacrifice and turn it on.
So again, it's spring, right?
Nope. Can I say no?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little frustrated because I feel like we're stuck in a weird loop right now weather-wise. And it's just me bitching. It's not really anything important. Yeah, this month is kind of quiet. Like April was April was very busy. May's not so much, then June gets busy again. So
Pride season.
Yep.
Big one is next month in June.
Ooh.
So now we kind of have to do. There it is. Okay, so none of this is the like, what did you do? It's kind of what Chess did. And pull this up on to the show here so you can see, so the viewers can see. It's the Comes Out Loud bingo card.
Yes.
And Chester printed it out.
I've been marking shit off already.
Good lord.
So I was referencing under N. There's Timey Wimey. So
yep.
That was it. But what else do you got here?
I've said Claw and I have said Disney.
At Claw
and
Disney. It's unfortunately cropped because of the way I've got it showing here, so we can't see it. But there's more to this. If you go to the Comes Out Loud Facebook page, you can see Chess's post with the image.
Yeah, Chess made a bingo card for us, and each column has our name and phrases that we are commonly said by each of us. Now, he didn't say, do we, well, what happens if Damon says at Claw? Does that still count, or do I have to say it?
Let's not put too much thought into it. It's meant to be.
Too late.
It's a fun little, it's a cute little thing. I think you could probably, in one episode, depending on what we're talking about, you could probably get a straight line down one person. Like do. Probably except
I'm gonna try my best to sidestep some of these terms, though.
So what do you have? You have at Claw, you have Disney. What else do you have there? You should have Tiny Wimey, right?
Well, no, because everybody has. There is a column for Jeff, a column for Damon, a column for myself, and a column for Gary. However, the N column is anyone can say that.
Right. So what have you gotten on the card so far?
Timey-wimey, at Claw, Disney.
Disney. And did you mention Texas? Because I know
probably mentioned
Damon
Texas.
said it.
I said Texas.
I referenced the temperature here in Texas, but I never said Texas.
Yeah.
So actually, Jeff just said it 3 times. So if anybody's actually playing the bingo game, that counts. Yeah, it works.
And technically, Jeff never mentioned Warcraft or WoW. He just said his raid team. We know what he's talking about, though.
Right, exactly. In game, so I avoided that one. Okay.
All right.
All right. So we got another thing.
Moving on.
Which I didn't say. I want to remind some people here. I actually am doing a GoFundMe to upgrade my rig to hopefully provide better quality streams and stuff like that. My computer, I've been out of work for over almost 3 months now, and so I'm looking for some help on that. It's kind of expensive, but it's also kind of thinking along the lines of I'm going to be doing a bunch of video, and it's possible that I might even do some more streaming of some games or something else as well. So I got a GoFundMe at gofundme.com/COLstream. And as you can see right here, and somebody already donated $20. The goal is $18.50. That's to make sure to cover everything, including shipping costs and everything for it. So it is kind of an expensive rig, but it's not like top of the line or anything. But it's going to make sure that I have a new computer, brand spanking new, and my current computer is like 7 years old. It's starting to go. So I want to improve the experience for you, me, and everybody else here. So please pop over to gofundme.com/COLstream. There's other things you can also do. You can also go to our nice Zazzle store. We got things like underwear, mugs, backpacks, and stuff.
T-shirts, which I have bought now, and it is on its way.
Okay, good.
Speaking of, a certain person who's going to TBRU soon informed me that they bought a shirt.
Oh.
So they're going to be repping us at the event, which is kind of cool. So.
Nice. A certain... Never mind. Go on. I don't want to say their name.
Anyway, moving right along. Let's move on.
We are going to switch back to this. Should have asked for a second monitor to make this a little bit easier. I'm flipping through Windows and everything.
Vamp! Vamp!
I never said I was pro. Gary, what's been going on over in Facebook Live?
We got some Facebook likes. We would like to thank the following individuals for liking us on Facebook: Omega Ban, Alessandro Zeta Peras, and William Scott Gooden. Or Gooden, not sure which.
Nice.
And even, for those people watching, there also might be new subscribers. Hello,
Yay.
subscribers. Who we got?
So welcome to our YouTube. Dante Medina, Pack Shang, William Gooden, and Joshua Cohen. Hi. Buchelman.
Chester has a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, God.
Well,
take a deep breath.
No, I don't know why some of this doesn't just like transfer over to me, because normally I'm in that spot between David and Chester. But
well, you can split it up. I mean, it's not that hard.
Looks like we got a couple messages from the Bear Underground. What's going on over there?
Otter Dave said, "Thanks, Damon and the rest of the COL crew. I finally got the chance to catch up on some of the podcasts this week and appreciated the shout out during the feedback episode, COL412. Your podcasts are always fun, even when discussing serious topics, and I can't wait to hear more. If you're looking for some ideas, I'd like to see a poll option for the Would You Rather episodes so the listeners can play along. Woof, Dave."
Ooh, that is
could
an
be kind
idea.
of fun.
Huh.
Just a side note, we did get some feedback from Chess that I will be posting at some point. Just haven't had the time to do it. Let's see. Another Bear Underground message comes from Andy Bear 21, and it just says, "Hi."
Hi, Andy Bear 21.
Hi. We have a couple Twitter posts. G-Bear Trucker 65 said, "Listening to at Cubs Out Loud podcast episode 412, full on feedback." And another one is listening to the Berry Hot at Cubs Out Loud podcast episode 413 Bear Necessities, hashtag empty lube packets.
Nice.
He also sent us a direct message on Twitter that says, "To clear up the confusion on my complimentary tweet, I meant to compliment Jeff, but typed Gary's name, and when corrected, I redid the tweet to compliment properly." And also, I'm going to try to be conscious to share your Facebook posts about the most recent episode in addition to tweeting when listening. Glad to share about the very goodness that is COL. So thanks for that.
One, I told you.
And then,
and two, thanks,
at DFTBA Paul said, "At Cubs Out Loud, don't forget to be awesome."
which is
Ah.
the FTBA means.
Yep.
Yes.
Which I think
We didn't get any Twitter followers that I noticed, but we do have some Tumblr followers. Unique Beard Banana, Yuitakami, Ricardo J5, and I don't know how to pronounce this, Remog 2014, Dreamer 80, Nurse Cub 225, and Quack 1984. We also have a Tumblr comment from Remog 2014 regarding COL410 crossover with the Underbears podcast. That's the one that Gary and I did live at Drenched Fur with the guys from the Underbears podcast. And it just says, "Great podcast." So I don't know if he's watched that episode or if he was listening. And then we have a direct message to me on Bear 411 from Sigma Wolf. He's in North Dakota, but he's 10 hours from here because it's a large state. Worf, love the podcast.
Yay.
And then Damon got a direct message from Pup Buster out of Minnesota while at Claw, and it says, yes! Cubs Out Loud.
Yep, it was kind of fun. It was a random thing that I got, and I was like, "Oh, cool! You listen to the show." And he was like, "Yes." So I told him we had recorded a show that afternoon because he had messaged me after I had we had just recorded COL415. So yeah,
he's a recent follower. I met him for the first time 6-7 weeks ago at a leather event in. Oh, gotta cross that off. At a leather event in Minneapolis. And I knew he was going to be at Claw, but I didn't realize he was a listener until a week ago.
Nice.
That's all of our feedback.
Nice.
And I will say this for those of you who decide that you want to play along. Every time you get a bingo, just put a post for something on Twitter. Just do
give us
at Cubs Out Loud. Bingo. hashtag bingo. and then just or hashtag COL and then whatever the show number was. So like COL415 if you were doing today. Just because I want to know how many bingos we actually get. So.
Nice. All right.
All right. So let's go right into our main topic. Our main topic involves. Oops, that's not the right thing. I was showing our show notes.
Okay.
It's that time again. Do I have a sounder for this? I think I have a sounder. It's time for the summer movies. Okay, I didn't really have anything. But if we like a movie, if we don't like a movie, I can play this. Oops.
Nice.
I think it was the first time I actually played that sounder on here, so it didn't have the duration on it. So all of a sudden, it like switched orders, so it gave me a different one. Anyways, that's beside the point. Moving on. So talk about our summer movies here. I'm going to actually kind of show you the trailers. You can also pop over to the Guns Out Loud YouTube, and there is a playlist, COL415 trailers, which is basically what I'm going to be kind of playing in the background of this of the show today. So we're starting off with a couple of them that have already just come out, but just came out. Such as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And it's not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it's Volume 2, because it's like the cassette and things.
Yeah, I got it.
That's my introduction. I don't know what else to say on this.
I thought there was going to be more.
Besides,
well,
I wish I had money to go see these movies.
Well, I guess I'll start.
I'm going to buy it later, even if I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Of the list of movies that we have so far, this is one of the ones I'm definitely wanting to see. I like the first movie. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm kind of curious to see where they're going with it. The trailer gives just enough to kind of be like, oh, okay, I see a couple of new characters. I see an interesting sort of storyline going, but it doesn't give enough to say exactly what the movie's going to be about. We've got some general ideas, but not enough. So definitely do want to see it personally. Yeah.
I saw it last night.
Oh, what do you think?
Guess it's not really a preview anymore. It's as of the recording of the show, it'll have been out for over a week, or as of the recording, it's only been out for about 36 hours or something.
Yeah.
And lots of people have been talking about it, and they're giving lots of praise for it. I don't know. I don't see it. I'm like, yeah, it was entertaining. I don't think it was great for what people are talking about it. There were some really good moments. There are certain characters that got more screen time than they did last time, so that's good. Kind of a teary situation towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But we can all kind of see it coming, so I'm not giving anything away. I will say... Yeah, I will say that there are 3 of the 3 or 4. What do you call them? At the end of the movie, how Marvel always tacks on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Easter eggs.
One of those
not
little
Easter eggs.
They're not really Easter eggs.
Shawarmas.
There you
go. Some of them don't make sense in the way that, why is this even here? Particularly the very last one, I was watching that and I'm like, did I really just stay an extra 2 minutes for that?
Maybe it has, I haven't seen it, but maybe it has something to do with that whole like Marvel movie through line that they're doing?
No. I understand that, and that's how they usually do it. That's why I'm saying that there's 4 of them, and I think it's the second one out of the 4 that actually ties into upcoming movies, or where they're going to be going with the franchise or the timeline or what have you. But the very last one, the one that should be the most important, isn't. It's like, that was dumb. Why did I watch that? I don't know. Just my take on it.
Gary? Muted?
Unfortunately, I've already kind of caught a review or two about Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the movie because I think it's visual candy. I think it's very colorful, very stimulating. However, my understanding is that it's actually getting criticized for not really having a lot of good content. That the first movie was so groundbreaking in terms of like an unexpected, production out of Hollywood. And now the second movie seems typically formulaic as far as elements. And that's really kind of disappointing because I think that there's going to be some diehard people who really love the first movie and they're going to see the second one and then they're going to be like, oh, the first one's way better. So I don't know. Like, I want to see it, but now I'm already like, I don't know. Like, I was willing to be part of the opening weekend, take my money kind of thing, because I liked the first one so much. But now I'm like, if it's too predictable, you know what I mean, and expected, yeah. Like, did Hollywood turn around and be like, oh, we've got an amazing cash cow we kind of didn't know was going to happen? Do you know what I mean? And then they turn it into more of that. I think that's kind of disappointing. But,
yeah. And that's sometimes the case you get. And that's sometimes the case you get with movies like this is like, hey, this is really great. Let's make another one because let's cash in, like you said, on the good that we got from it. And the second one, the sequels usually, no offense, don't always live up to the first one. It's just the way it is. The first one had all these wonderful elements in it that made it interesting, and unfortunately, you really cannot repeat that. You just can't. No movie can ever repeat the exact same, like, oh my God, this was amazing things that you get from the first one.
Well, the thing about Guardians of the Galaxy is it's very completely different from most Marvel movies in the sense of how it's set up as a superhero movie. What keeps it like all Marvel movies is the fact that it's Disney, and they have this Bruce used to call it this Disney Marvel formula, where they have this thing where they can put in the right kind of music, the right kind of action sequences, the right kind of humor and drama in such a balance that it makes for a very well-rounded movie from start to finish. That's the only thing that it's got going for it in the sense of making it a good movie or not. The first one was such a departure from everything else we're used to seeing that we wanted to get this, in the second one, we're expecting that. And to me, it just doesn't follow through. It's still a good movie in the sense of what Disney Marvel is able to put out there, but I don't think it's a great movie.
Huh.
I feel really what my concern / criticism is just it's a recognition that entertainment is a business.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. There are businesses that are answerable to shareholders or, making a profit, however you want to look at it. And that's really what it comes down to. And I think that's the part that we struggle with when it comes to entertainment, because we want to be entertained. We want to be wowed. We really want to go on an experience. But I think we are now in an age where people are more aware of the crafting of your journey. And that's in a way what art is, but there's a difference between somebody who's trying to take you on an experience versus somebody who's taking you on an experience that explicitly gets more money out of your pocket, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So I don't know, like that's where I'm kind of like, like I was really super excited to go see the movie, and then now I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's really sad that I'm willing to like wait until it comes to Netflix or Hulu. Like, and there's, I don't know. Anyways, I'm just gonna stop bitching about it.
See,
well, we can.
This is one of the reasons why I don't read reviews, especially for the fanboy movies that I'm interested in, like Guardians of the Galaxy or any comic book movie you could say. I just don't read. Well, I don't read reviews in general, but I don't read reviews for that because I don't really care. I want to go see them. I want to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. You said it was a crap movie? I don't care. I loved it. It was so cool because of coolness. But I don't even bother with the reviews because I don't want it to stain my own pleasure.
Yeah, when I see people talk about moving on Facebook, I take it at face value and realize that's what they liked about it, and I'm probably not going to agree. But I think we should move on.
So the next movie, there's Tom Hanks, Emma Watson, called The Circle. And from the initial looks at it, it doesn't look like what it ends up apparently being of a thriller.
Yeah.
So wait, are you saying it isn't a thriller?
Well, when I started looking at it, I thought it might be like some sort of inspirational movie. And then eventually that got turned around in the trailer. Because of what happened.
Yeah. I kind of get the thriller aspect of it. That's what I wrote down literally, is that it's a not sci-fi, but a tech thriller, which seems kind of weird. It's meant to be more of I call it a more realistic thriller, in that this is something that could potentially happen. This isn't like aliens and whatnot. This is like a zombie plague kind of bullshit. This is hey, people are watching you and they're recording you and they're learning all about you without either with or without your knowledge and all this stuff. And there's this big part of me that's like going, that could really happen. And that's kind of what has pulled me into it. I want to see it. I really want to see it. I like seeing, I wrote Hermione because Emma Watson, but it's like one of those things where I like the idea of seeing actors and actresses I know playing these different roles that is not their norm. We've seen, her be Hermione forever, and we're kind of a little tired of her. And even her as Belle is, fantasy character kind of thing for me. I wanted something a little bit more realistic. So
who knew she could sing.
Yeah. So, so yeah, so like I want to see this one. The trailer has given me enough information that I want to go try and see it. I don't think I will get a chance to, but I really do want to try. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not much of a thriller fan. So I'm like, I'm like, it's probably just a perfectly fine movie, just not really a movie I want to watch.
I understand what Damon is trying to say here about there's this believability to the movie because, hello Google.
Yeah.
Who watches every damn thing we do, and not just Google, but I'm sure Apple does the same thing. It's all about data tracking. Just this movie puts a different spin on it because now they're doing it with audio and video too, which I'm sure they already do. So yeah, that's why I am looking forward to it because I generally love Tom Hanks and just about everything that he does.
Tom Hanks can't do any wrong.
Right. And he's smart enough to know, you know what? I don't want to do this movie because I can see it's going to be a failure. You know what? I'm going to do this movie because I can tell it's going to be good. So that's why I'm going to go see it. It's because Tom Hanks is in it. And it's believable.
And Emma Watson in general is an amazing actress. Just in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Emma Watson and Tom Hanks and then John Boyega? We've got a Finn in here? Star-studded cast.
Well, he's only been in one role as far as I know, so why typecast him so soon?
He was also in that British The Block, where it was like a British housing block and some kids there while during an alien invasion of London. He was in that.
Don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it was a while ago. This was when he was much younger. It was good. I like that. I like The Block. I think we reviewed it on COL Movies. Anyways, Attack the Block.
Anyway.
Gary?
It's funny how we're talking about the movie concept is about a social media conglomerate that takes over the world technology-wise, and that there's a dark secret behind it is really what the premise of the circle is. And I'm sitting here and we're talking about it, and then I'm like, yeah, so we're recording this to YouTube, which is owned by Google, while using Google Docs, while using Chrome. Like, I'm like, could we be any more like representative in a way of this concept of a near future situation? I think the first trailer I ever saw really grabbed me and threw me in, and I wanted to see it. And now that I've seen another one, I'm really not sure I'm going to ever watch it. So
maybe hit a little too close to home.
No, it's not so much that it hit too close to home. I think they revealed too much, gave too much away. The first trailer left me wanting to know more, and Hollywood does this a lot, and it really ticks me off that they create trailers, and it's like sometimes you're like, all right, now I know the movie. Why do I want to give you my $7.50, $10, $13, like however much money we're gonna spend? Like, it's just. So that's, the second trailer I saw added a new element of a human storyline to the concept, but ultimately I went, oh, like now I kind of feel like I have an idea as to where this goes and how it's going to end, and that's just boring as shit for me personally. So I'm like, okay. So I think at some point I may watch it in the future, but I've noticed that there's a lot of film that I never see and like never get around to either. Like, despite the fact that it shows up online and it's part of my, available Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, pick your platform, Vudu, whatever options. I kind of don't follow through. So I also want to say personally for me, just because there are big names in a movie doesn't mean I'm going to automatically buy a ticket. Yeah, like, I agree that those three principal actors, Tom Hanks and Emma Watson and John Boyega, like, are good, but it's not a slam dunk for me to immediately go see a movie just because a person's in it. And I don't know that there's that many people that feel that way. I think Tom Hanks might be going in a direction people aren't familiar with, because I have a sneaking suspicion that he's actually the bad guy.
Really?
And
think.
Doesn't understand that he's the bad guy. Like, he's that weird, really intelligent, narcissistic, doesn't understand how he's actually evil. But I don't know that for certain. So who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see.
Do we move on?
Yes.
Notice I didn't say the other phrase. Saying.
You've already said it, though, just so you're aware. Okay.
Did I?
Yes.
Anyway. Next up, we got another Alien movie, Alien Covenant.
Next. I'm not going to see it. I don't like the Alien movies. I never have liked the Alien movies. This one is not. It didn't grab me. It didn't.
You're just not an alien.
So
you're
so
like, okay, let's go. We're next.
Yeah.
Me, I kind of want to see this. I have this weird thing where I love the Alien movies. The Alien movies. Notice I didn't say anything about Prometheus. It's one of those things where I kind of want to have access to Prometheus just so I can remind myself of how horrible of a movie. Especially considering they say, you won't see an alien in this movie.
Hooray!
And then we see an alien.
Hey!
So,
wait, what?
in Prometheus?
No, I happen to love the Alien series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
And
Good for you guys.
Chester's cutting out. Chester, are we losing you? You're frozen.
The one particular
Okay.
Chester!
Oh, I don't know why. I think what it is, I don't know if I can see you guys just fine.
Oh, yeah, you're frozen, and we can.
There's a lot of lag.
Yeah, a tremendous amount.
So, well, Chester reconnects.
Gary.
Yeah, I am kind of mixed on this. I don't like to be scared, like in just general terms. So conceptually, to me, the movie series is not something that I have an interest in. However, I'm also a little conflicted because the original was so like radical in some ways in terms of what it presented and went in a whole new direction for us.
Yeah.
So I think my disappointment will be Sigourney Weaver isn't like kicking alien ass again. I don't know what to say. You know, Ripley's such an amazing character, and I just don't know if that's really something you can duplicate or replicate into another film. So
Ripley from the first three, right? Or
I'm not getting into that. I am not. No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not getting into that discussion.
Ripley kind of was in Resurrection, the fourth movie. So was that Ripley okay, or was the original Ripley, which was in the first three?
See, and I don't even know the difference because I don't even know if I saw Resurrection because I haven't really followed the whole series. And then I thought it took a wild left turn when they decided to do Prometheus and it was this whole origin story thing, and then there was all this backlash about, I guess, some of the like ideas presented or whatever. I don't know.
Well,
so
to be fair, Prometheus isn't like an origin story. It's a divergent of that current timeline. If that makes any kind of sense.
Nope.
Well, there's the alien race, the xenomorph race itself has more than one timeline. They were invading lots of different spaces. That's why Prometheus is so different from the Alien movies. It's because it's a different... It's the same universe. It's just not in a chronological order. And people get very confused by that.
Gotcha.
Because it took
so anyways,
beforehand.
In terms of like the fact that there's a new movie out, I think they went back to some of the core stuff. Mm-hmm. From what I've seen in the trailer, they're trapped on a ship. There's an alien. Well, no, that's not true. They land on a planet. And then this is the part of the trailer that pissed me off the most. They land on a planet. They have mysterious questions about wheat that looks very similar to Earth. And I'm like, oh, God. And then there's this mysterious ship that appears to have been crashed. And they decide to go inside it. And I'm sorry. This is where I say, let me guess. Big bad alien nest home. Y'all gonna get infected. Y'all gonna die. How much more formulaic does the movie
Okay.
need to be?
Yeah, exactly.
But doesn't that happen in every kind of movie like this?
Well,
Yeah,
see, that's
not
where
even. I mean, it's essentially like Cabin in the Woods too, except Cabin in the
Again.
Woods at the. Yeah, it's
Well,
exactly
it's
like
a
Cabin in the
horror
Woods.
movie.
It's
Again.
It's a horror movie.
Mhm.
It's just set in
Yeah.
space.
anyway.
Again.
So I hope that it's successful in that I have lots of friends and individuals that I know that really love the series conceptually. The I have to say, of all the science fiction space ish themed things that are out there, it's one of the most visually artistic. Like, it's beautiful to see, like, the ship and the alien, like, conceptually. Like, I think that there's just something amazingly artistic about it that isn't necessarily seen in other stuff. So from that point, like, I get it, and I think that's why some people really enjoy it. I mean, people collect all sorts of stuff related to it. But anyways, that's it for me.
did you
I'm a
have any
fan.
more to say?
I can't wait for it to come out.
Okay.
Like, it is a movie that I would go to a midnight showing of. That's how much I like the Alien series.
Cool.
Excellent. Moving on. We got our movie, which probably they shouldn't have done.
Yes.
But it looks kind of cool anyways. Pirates of the Caribbean being Dead Men Tell No Tales. Yeah, it's another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. The only thing is,
Again.
this is one of those popcorn movies where it's like, yeah, it's probably not the greatest movie in all the world or even very good, but you know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna kind of sit here, enjoy myself.
I have yet to see a single Pirates of the Caribbean movie. None of them appeal to me at all. I'm so sick and tired of this franchise. I wish it would die, like Dead Men. Next.
Whoa.
It's Disney flicks.
I'm tired of Johnny Depp. I don't want to see him on the screen. I'm sorry. It's just the way I feel about it. And the fact that I don't even know how long it's been, but it's been a while since we had one, and here we are again with another one. Like, why? What story hasn't been told yet that
Because
isn't the same premise?
It's a popcorn movie, and I got this from the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean, because Pirates of the Caribbean's always just been this popcorn movie sort of a showboat, trying to play off the actual ride from Disney World. I think it's in Disneyland too, right?
Yes.
So I think I like the idea. They got the pirate of the Pirates of the Caribbean with Jack Sparrow, and I just love going, why is the rum gone? So again, popcorn movie. I'm going to, if I go to see it, it's because I just want to have just a fun time. I don't want to think about it. Just enjoy it. Action, high seas adventures, pirates, arr, mateys. I'm good with that. So that's why. See, people need to appreciate the bad movies like these, which are just fun. If they're fun, in some sense, they're not even bad. They're just fun, which isn't necessarily bad. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking for a minute and let you guys talk.
I've said my piece.
Jester?
I have nothing to add.
Okay. So let's move on.
Carrie? That was a face.
I was just confused. Anyways, I do feel that it's questionable about them making another movie, but then the other part of me is like, oh, that's right. It's a business, and it's about making more money off a franchise that they, it's been successful. So I'm interested in the movie that I want to see it because I want to, for the escapism, I want to go on a journey, so it intrigues me. On the other side of it, I'm also a little like, oh, Yeah, so we've got the strong female character that doesn't really get the recognition that she's equal to the guys subplot issue, and like the drunk pirate Sparrow, blah blah blah. I don't know, like, and he's always screwing up and making enemies, and they're back out to come after him, and I don't know. So there's just a bunch of stuff that I'm like, I don't know if it's really going anywhere new, but then again, do we really care?
Yeah.
So
again, thanks Google. There have been five movies since 2003.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
5.
Yes. Because it makes money.
Does it? Does it really?
Yes.
Obviously, they keep making them. If it didn't make money, they wouldn't make another one.
If they continue to make them, then they're making money.
Maybe Johnny Depp was bored and said, "Hey, Jerry Bruckheimer, let's do another Pirates movie."
6 years later.
Another Jack Sparrow.
All right.
Anyways, moving on.
Speaking of movies that shouldn't have been made.
Yeah, this is a parody movie, though. This is Baywatch. Yes, Baywatch movie. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is doing a comedy movie. They even make a dick joke in the trailer.
God, how do I even put this in words? It's another like movie from makeup of a TV show that they're trying to make this parody comedy bullshit out of, and no, next. I just don't know. I'm not going to see it. I don't plan on seeing it. I don't understand why people would want to see it because it looks like crap. I mean, it looks like, oh, it's Zac Efron and Dwayne The Rock Johnson running around, shirtless, and babes with big boobs running around, and it's Baywatch and da 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 da. Yeah. Why? Done. Next.
I mean, it even says for the makers of Horrible Bosses.
Yeah. Because that's a key point in selling that movie. Because yeah. Anyway, someone else talk.
Chester?
Yeah, I don't have anything to add about this other than when the trailer came on for whatever movie I was seeing at the time, I was like, oh, well, this is obviously Baywatch. And I'm like, okay, this could be entertaining. They did a somewhat decent job at Miami Vice.
Yeah, no.
Oh, so this is aimed at 13-year-olds. Why?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Gary.
And then, yeah, I was
And Chester's laying it down.
just so, like, well, that's a waste of money.
Yep. Chester's laying it down again.
I don't know.
Well, to be fair, it takes a long way to travel for the internet to get into North Dakota and back out. So
Oh, stop.
now he's caught up because I saw that.
I think we got
Okay,
the gist of Chester's thoughts.
Yeah, in terms of like the Baywatch thing, this is the way I look at it. Like, I agree. Basically, I'm not going to go see the movie. I have no interest in it. But I also recognize that there are just like genres of films or collectives or whatever that I don't have any interest in. I don't know what else to say. Like, to me, this sort of falls in a category in my mind that I've created, which is dumbass funny movies. Because there was a long time when I was a younger adult that everyone kept talking around me about these movies and then would be shocked, like clutching pearls, that I never went and saw that movie. either in the theater or like, on bought the VHS tape or the DVD or the Blu-ray or the digital download. Like, still to this day, people are kind of shocked there are some movies I just haven't seen. I don't care. I don't have an interest in going and seeing it, so therefore I won't. But I'm not going to shit on it per se. I'm just going to be like, all right, well, some people are interested in that. They want to go see it. Knock yourself out. And I think it's the fun of like just the fact that we have an entertainment industry. Not everything is for everybody, and that's okay. This particular, listing of movies is just like some of the biggest name, like conceptual. Most of them notably come from brands. There's a lot of sequels. It's not meant to be all inclusive per se, but these are, I guess, at what's expected to be a summer blockbuster. And I say blockbuster in quotes because we won't know.
I think what it is we have been in this, how do I want to call it, valley of let's rehash everything from the 80s. We've been in this rut. That's what I wanted to say was rut, not valley. We've been in this rut for about 10 years. You go back and you look, okay, they redid Transformers. That was okay. The first time they did it.
And on here too.
And then we've got, how many are we up to? 5. They did Miami Vice. They're redoing popular superhero movies, which is okay. Redoing because they're trying to drum up that nostalgia from older crowds, 30 to 40-year-olds, because they're going to get their kids into it.
Which kind of talks about our next movie. Which I don't know about you. I think most gay men will probably go see. It's Wonder Woman.
So the first...
Who didn't want to, as a kid, act like Linda Carter and spin around, be like, Wonder Woman?
I didn't watch Wonder Woman when I was little. I don't know anything about... I don't know anything about Wonder Woman except for what she looks like. That's it.
Well, that's fine. So, this is the first movie since the, I guess, Guardians and Circle that I've really wanted to see. I'm looking forward to seeing it. The trailer was really good. I actually watched, I went on IMDb and saw all the trailers, and I've seen them, and the trailers are enough, they have been enough for me to grab my attention. I kind of get the idea. This is more of an origin-y kind of story for her. It's set in World War II. It works. I like the idea behind it. I like the premise behind it. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that aspect of it. The action sequences look really good. It has drawn me in. I'm slightly concerned that it won't be as good as what I've got in my head, but what I've seen so far has been pretty good. So we'll see.
Chester, did you want to say anything else?
No, I don't know anything about Wonder Woman other than, who she is. That was all that I had.
Okay. I am hopeful for the film that it is a success because there's so much writing on it ridiculously right now. I mean, how much have any female representation in the comics industry gotten a good shake? That's all I seem to catch is the criticism about this one's, character portrayal. Why are they, scantily clad or wearing a lycra bodysuit or nude? Just all of this stuff. And so, as a character within that industry, from my outside perspective, she's one of the longest standing, lasting, superheroes that's been around. And it just is unfortunate that it's 2017 and we're releasing a movie. I think it makes sense that it's an origin story. I just hope that it's financially successful, that, people will give more opportunities into the future, and not just for this, character concept, but others as well, because, yeah, I think it looks really good. I'm excited about it. I am concerned, though, that I feel like I already know the whole story from the trailers, and that's the downside. That's just a personal criticism. If I see a trailer and I feel like I watched the film in 3 minutes, it's like, well, then why would I really want to go see the movie? At least give you the immediate, first week bank or whatever.
Yeah. It's going. I will. I don't like seeing movies the first week. Just a personal thing, because everyone kind of goes, it's the hype of it and they want to go see it, and there's like the theaters are really crowded and all that shit. I will usually give myself a little time to go see one, but this one I might, if the right opportunity presents itself, I will go the first week. That's the only reason why, is because I kind of really want to see it, and I really want to get that representation that it needs. It's been so long since we've been able to focus on like a female character as a lead, and given what we've seen of the other DC movies, this one was kind of is needed. It's needed to be as good as it should be. Like, given what I've seen, it should be really good. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, that's the only drawback.
And who doesn't like a badass woman?
Okay.
Men that think women belong in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant?
Misogynist, you mean?
Okay,
Yeah.
And we also have one of my favorite Star Trek actors, Chris Pine, here. I adore his Captain Kirk. So watching him in this,
cool.
I think it was also in the guy really like Tom Hardy. This Means War, which is kind of funny. Cool. But that's another matter. Moving on. Here we go again. Next, maybe Shark talked about Captain Underpants, the first epic movie.
Next.
I will say this: not for us.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the good overall arching theme of this particular trailer. Yeah, no, it's. I'm okay. I'll put it like this: I don't know where it came from. I know that there's a based on a trailer. There's like this best-selling whatever, and it's a story, and it's been around for a while, and or whatever. But no, I probably won't see it. It didn't grab me at all. I don't get it. So no.
It looks like a really well done kids movie, and I think it really kind of strikes the fantasy of a lot of children. Where it looks like the concept is these two kids who play pranks all the time are brought into the principal's office, and then they decide they're going to hypnotize the principal to become Captain Underpants, which was a comic book character that they've been making.
They made up, yeah. Gary?
I think I'm intrigued by it. I'm a little excited, but that's because I didn't know that this was a thing a long time ago. Oh, I should have grabbed it. Well, it's over there. For work, we had put together what was called the Book of Fun, and it was full of like icebreaker activities and jokes and stories and like just all sorts of stuff. And it was kind of meant to be the filler as a corporate trainer. Like if you got ahead of schedule and you needed just a small like thing to get you to before you could go to break or lunch or something, if you're trying to follow a schedule. And anyways, I had found an image of this thing, Captain Underpants, like online, and I had printed it as like the cover of the binder. I just presumed it was a goofy thing that somebody had kind of like drawn up. I didn't realize that it was actually a children's novel series and all of this stuff. So then to find out that it's, made it to the point that it's been made into an animated film, I don't know. To me, it falls in line with Frankenweenie,
Uh-huh.
and maybe the Hotel Transylvanian. You know what I mean? Like this kind of genre. I admit, yes, it's absolutely probably for kids, although parents will probably just enjoy it as well, or aunts and uncles. You know, that kind of deal. So I don't know. It amuses me that they call it the first epic movie as part of the title. I think that's in relation to the fact that I think the first book was called the first epic novel. So I think they're playing off on that. So yeah, I'm like, it's actually to me looks like it's gonna be a decent kids movie that isn't a repeat of something else, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think
All right.
it'll be a blockbuster in the kids market because it's like, I want to go see Captain Underpants.
All right. Next.
We got another Cars movie.
Oh my God.
I actually think this. I kind of really want to see it, just because I think it has kind of like a little heartfelt tale here about like like getting up in your ears, getting old,
Yeah.
you're not the best, and making your last hurrah.
I'll give you that. That's about it. Like this is another movie I haven't necessarily seen any of. I know that it has a very strong following, and it's a Disney and it's a Pixar and it's a franchise and all that stuff. But the idea never grabbed at me to begin with, but I've seen like bits and pieces of it. I know why it was as popular as it was. Having said that, I wrote down like it's a little too late. Like I know it's computer animated and I know it takes them a while to make them, et cetera, but I can't remember when the last one came out, but I feel like it's been too long for the hype of the second movie to grab people for the third one. And unfortunately, I feel that I'm going to feel that way about a lot of the Pixar movies that are going to be coming out soon, because it's like I said, it's just been so long that the kids that saw Cars 1 and Cars 2 are now maybe too old to really get into a third movie, which is kind of what you would make one for. Is to kind of grab that attention and keep that momentum of the show, of the franchise going.
Well, see, this is the thing about Disney. They do this on purpose. It's not to grab the attention of the older kids. It's to grab the attention of the newer kids. The ones that don't know anything about cars because they've never seen them before.
Mm. Yeah, it's not generational, so it's not like when the Star Wars second trilogy came out and there was this whole like parents taking their kids kind of thing. I think now it's a weird spacing. Like I just looked real quick, and the first movie came out in 2006, the second one came out in 2011, and now it's 2017. So it's like 5 years between the first two, 6 years between the second two. I agree that with you, Damon, that conceptually it's like it's been a long time since the previous version or last movie. But I also think, Chester, like you're onto something that maybe they really don't care about trying to re-engage their previous customer base. Now it's continuing it on. And if they keep this pace up, and by the time the fourth or the fifth one comes out, they'll actually be selling it to the kids of the original kids, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it because I love Pixar movies. I think they are visually pleasing. I think the plot is usually well thought out. Granted, most of the time it's cookie cutter plot, but it's engaging. I think they're innovative in the way that they are able to cast their characters. And there was a joke about, look, it's a Pixar movie. It's fish who have feelings, and toys who have feelings, cars who have feelings that have feelings.
Yeah. It's I get it, and like I probably won't see it because again I haven't seen any of the other ones, but I get what you're saying. Like, it kind of makes sense. It's a franchise. It's meant to grab attention. It will. Like, I will probably, like, other Pixar movies that I know I've seen and I want to see the next one, I will probably I'm looking forward to when the Incredibles 2 comes out. Like, that's one that I'm kind of looking forward to because I really like the first one.
You're waiting for
And
a
I'm,
superhero movie.
yeah, I know.
Well, and notably, Pixar, I think, got criticized because they went in different direction for a couple of years, and the fan base kind of got rabid from their original set of movies and pretty much demanded sequels. Like the second Incredibles movie, I'm quite sure people are still going to be bitching at them for taking forever to make the second movie.
I know.
It was
Everybody
like
wanted one like the next day. It's like the movie came out. It was like
Right.
that movie was
So-
incredible.
2 years ago, when I was at D23 Expo, it's basically Comic-Con, but it's just Disney. That's all it is Disney. I remember Gary sending me photos. He's like, "Hey, did you see this?" And he's sending me snippets of Incredibles 2 and all the other Pixar things coming out and their dates. And I'm like, yeah, we're in a panel about it right now. And when they said, by the way, we have Incredibles 2 on the lineup, it's going to come out, the entire audience was on their feet, hooting and hollering because we've waited long enough. You've done sequels for all this other shit,
Right.
but nothing for Incredibles. And yeah.
So I think it's just a little odd that, like, how could you have not picked up on what the audience wants?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree with you, Damon. Like that's a one of various universes, series / whatever that they've created to be looking forward to. The only thing I want to say about this that bothered me, I don't know if bothered is right. Observationally, I found the trailer to be too meta. So Lightning McQueen, I think is the character's name, the fast race car, is apparently something happens. There's a tragic accident. He can't go anymore, and it's this redemption story. But there's also these weird, like, interspersed scenes, which I think come from earlier in the film. Like, I think it's very much out of order to watch the trailer. But what's killing me is how he's all, like, new and shiny and beautiful looking, and he's got some guy trying to explain to him about all his money he can make from all the endorsement, from all the merchandise and the cross-product tie-in. So they're showing Mr. Clean, spray bottles with him on the bottle, like all this stuff. And all I keep thinking is, wow, Pixar, you're really fucking with us, aren't you? Because that's what you're known for. Not only do you make a film, but then everything that's ever been manufactured in human existence practically is going to have this shit on it. Like promoting
Cars 3 gummies.
So I'm just like, oh, this is super meta.
Merchandising.
I'm just like, this is the most insane thing I think I've ever
Do we
seen.
really need to talk about Star Wars bananas?
No.
Yeah, there was like Star Wars everything way back in the day.
Right, and that's what now I kind of feel like that's the landscape of the battle of the competition of the entertainment industry is. Yes, we've been told, and I know that the box office initial ticket sales is really the only money that's made, and then everything else is the periphery off of that. And to be fair, I mean, Star Wars was is considered the penultimate of like the first film that ever got that right in terms of like, yeah, you could make money on the box office, but you could also make a shit ton of money on the licensing. And so I think that's now the weird like new battleground. It's like, you're just gonna put your thing on everything, whether it makes sense or not. And I'm just kind of like, oh, like I agree. Like a banana is a banana. It's not a Star Wars banana. It just has a Star Wars thing on it. Like, I don't know. So that's it for that.
All right. I think we've talked. It's our let's talk about Tupac. All eyes on me. I just have no interest.
Like I'm gonna own. How do I put this? I like that they're doing this. It will be an interesting movie to to see out in the theaters and see how well it is. But there's a big part of me that, again, I'm going with it's too late. Like it's been too long. It's not as relevant.
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that NWA put their movie out not too long ago? And they're like, oh, we could do one about Tupac.
Potentially, yes. But again, that movie was out a while ago. And it just, like I said, it doesn't, I get where they're going with it based on the trailer. I get where they're going with it. And I like the idea behind that. But there's a part of me that just says that it's been too long. It's been, looking at this, it's been 21 years since he died. Almost 21 years. That's a long time. And I don't know what was going on with, like, rights and legalities and all that stuff. But it just kind of, it feels too late. And maybe that's just in my head. It just feels a little too late. And whatever they're doing with it, I'll let them do it because it's already been done. But it's too late. And I hate saying that stuff, but that's sort of my thing. Like, it's not as relevant as it probably would have been, say, 10 years ago. Or even 5 years ago. You know?
I think I'll ask you this then, Damon. Like, what I'm hearing you say, this is my interpretation, hence it's kind of a question, is, do you think that there's a point where you just shouldn't bother?
Kind of. Yeah. I think that's the better thing. Like, if this story needed to be told, it should have already been told. Like, his rise in the industry, and I'm honestly literally just going on what I got from the trailer, it's sort of talking about his original reasons for doing what he was doing, to put a focus on the community that he grew up in, and that there's some problems and some issues that need to be solved, and that he was kind of being guided by his father and whatnot about these things. And then to his change to becoming more, the turmoil, the realities of the situation, that, fame can corrupt, and you become this different person, and therefore you're not doing what you were meant to do. What you originally planned out to do is what you're not doing anymore. And therefore that maybe caused your downfall, is kind of what I've got from the trailer. And again, however, I said, I just don't think it's been, like I said, it's been too long. It's been too long since his passing, since the relevancy of the issues that are being presented in the movie. Not saying that it shouldn't be told, but that maybe it's been a little too long between aspects to make this his specific story as relevant as it is today. There are potentially other people that could have been biopicked, as it were, that may have done something that would have been a little bit more relevant now. But that's just me going through what I'm like, stream of conscience talking. I don't disagree that the movie shouldn't have been made, but I think it should have been made a while back. Yeah.
I agree with you conceptually. Like, from a timeline wise, it would have been way more effective if it had been made, like, within the first 8 years after his untimely passing. However, what bothers me the most about something you just said was, it's been 21 years and I feel like nothing's changed. Like, true. Society wise, from the trailer, conceptually, the fact that he's an artist that comes from this, community that is struggling and having issues, and that's why he pursues, being an artist, and then ends up creating what he does. And now I'm like, have Or maybe that's more the point of the film, is to be far more reflective and be like, hey, historically in context, look at this shit that was going on. And maybe, like, I don't think the film says this, although that would be awesome. I think maybe the hope is that people will look at it and be like, oh yeah, that just looks like today. And like make the connection that like it's been 2 fucking decades and we haven't really made any improvements.
Okay. I'll give you that.
I don't know. I mean, like, I think it's unfortunate if that's a intended consequence of seeing the film, and that's not exactly what's being portrayed. Because I agree with you, based on the trailer, like, it just looks like a biopic film, and that's interesting and all that. But I don't know. Yeah. Like, for me, I hope that it's successful. That, you know, it does allow people who've wanted this to exist to have what, you know, or to get what they've been looking for. Because I agree, you know, with your main premise, which is, yeah, but timeline-wise, it's just, you know, way after the fact.
Yeah, so we'll see. That's pretty much what I'll say is we'll see. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I think it's just a little too long. So, should we move on, or?
Yes, sir. Did you have any comments?
No, I do not.
Okay. Moving on into another popcorn flick. It was made by Michael Bay. Transformers: The Last Night. Now, I'm a little intrigued about this because it's implying like there was Transformers back in like medieval times, and I just kind of want to see what that's all about.
So, I literally wrote down, this is the most confusing bullshit ever. I don't get what I read because we have on the doc, we have the IMDb,
It'll be on
site thing.
Too, so.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so there were Transformers back in medieval times. All right. I guess that makes sense in some weird kind of timey-wimey, conceptual way. Maybe so. But that's not what I got from the trailer. It went back and forth. It jumped. It was the past. It was the present. It was the future. It was the past. There was no concept to me of any kind of stream of conscious like timeline. It felt like here's some stuff, and then here's some past stuff that you didn't realize. Oh, and here's this thing over here, and here's this girl running around, and then like it never. I never got enough to really be like, okay, what is this about?
Okay. So here's the thing. It's a Michael Bay movie. It's a Transformers movie.
I got that.
So the idea here is they're going to bring you in because you want to answer all those questions, you know, and also because there's big explosions and it looks cool. That's pretty much about it.
Well, that's all well and good.
It's a teaser. It's not supposed to really tell you everything about the story. I mean, as I said,
I didn't
what's
want
this thing about like Transformers with Agent Knight? Optimus Prime has been turned evil by some mysterious space force because he's been off planet since the last movie. What's going on here? You want to know what's going on?
No, I don't.
You want to watch?
No, I don't.
Right, I think that's
the appeal. That's supposed to be the appeal. Why? What this trailer is supposed to be trying to show for. So, you're complaining because it's not really telling you what the story is, right?
I'm not really complaining that it's not telling what the story is. I'm complaining that I don't get anything that would give me enough interest and desire to come see the movie. If that was what your trailer was meant to do, is for me to question so I can go see it, you failed.
Okay. So then you don't go see the movie. Chester.
I don't give a shit to see this, honestly.
Okay.
I think the whole Transformers... I'm not done. I think the whole Transformers franchise is a joke. Because the movies are shit. It is nothing but watching these robots yell at each other. And every time they make a movie, they somehow seem to transform even faster than they did in the previous movie. The only thing that I will mention about this is I have a bit of a connection because I was in London at the time of the filming and I was watching them film on the street. And I saw
Nice.
Bumblebee zipping up and down the street. That's the only thing that I would look forward to watching in this movie is that particular scene because I was there.
So wait, are you possibly in the background of the film?
It's very unlikely. Because of the way that they were filming, I was behind a fence and I was like looking through the street. There were signs everywhere saying you could be in this, but where I was, I highly doubt it.
Okay. So I will say this. I feel like while we're reviewing this that we're obviously all highly opinionated on, what is a draw for each of us individually as to why we want to see a film. I also think there's another theme out of today's podcast, which is that we're all struggling with conceptually about like things seem to be a money grab. Like the whole concept of this to exist is for a business to make money. Mm-hmm. And to me personally, there is nothing that epitomizes this more than this movie, because I feel like they literally just pulled the lever on the casino slot machine in Hollywood that tells them this will make money. What do we do? Oh, we take Transformers, a known like franchise concept that's been successful, which is about, robotic vehicle things. And then we take, what else is really big and relevant right now? Knights, dragons, medieval stuff, Lord of the Rings, the
Game of Thrones.
Yes, Game of Thrones. Thank you. And we're just going to smash them together into another Michael Bay crazy big blow 'em up kind of movie. And I just am floored that this got green-lighted and made, because I was like, really? And then I'm like, oh, that's right. Because people are going to spend money to go see it. That's why it got made. So, okay. I'm so lost on the concept of a Transformer holding a sword. I was like, what? Anyways. So, but then again, I'm not a person who really followed the original cartoon series, which this is no way really related to anymore. It's so, in my opinion, disconnected.
It is completely disconnected. And me being the child who grew up on Transformers was my thing. I went to see the 1985 movie and I cried when Optimus Prime died. So I have this deep childish connection to Transformers. I don't give a rat's ass how good this movie is. I still want to fucking see this because it looks cool.
I think that's part of maybe what they're looking forward to. Right. Is that people just want that kind of...
I don't care.
I think they want that escapism, and that's fine. I think, I know I'm not necessarily that kind of person.
I watched the first one and I liked it. I watched the second one and thought, why did I spend $10 on this? And then I went to the third one and was like, wow, I really want my money back. And I vowed after that I'm never going to see another one because it's just shit movies.
Yeah.
I guess I'm probably the only fan of just eye candy. Just stuff that looks cool.
I would much rather spend it on the Pacific Rim because it's the same thing, just a better script.
Pacific Rim, they don't really transform. And I still haven't seen it, and I kind of
big giant
want to watch it, but
robots that kill each other.
Yeah, I get the idea. It's basically a Japanese kaiju made by Americans. Kaiju, Evangelion-ish, not exactly, but ish. Anyways, let's move on. This might be quick. Maybe. I don't know. Despicable Me 3. I think it's I actually watched one of the movies. I think that maybe the first one. But didn't really hook me,
So I have seen the first two. I like the first two. Will I see the third one? Maybe. This is another one of those ones where, yeah, I get the premise. I like the idea behind it. I've always been a fan of the story and the concept. But again, I don't I get why there's a third one, but I don't see the relevance. And then it's like twin brother, like okay, that's new and random. Like where did that come from? Like out of nowhere. That's like pull the shit out of the. Like you said, Gary, let's roll the wheel and see what we can come up with. Like, oh, here's some new idea. You have a twin brother and you've never known about him, and he wants to do this, and here you go. And I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, let's see how that goes. Will it be good? Maybe. It'll make money, I'm sure, because people like the first two. They love Minions. They love all that shit. So it'll probably do well. I'm on the fence about seeing it. But I just it again, it's the idea behind what's the point? What story are they going to be telling? So yeah.
I have no desire to see this. I saw the first one and was like, why am I watching this?
Yeah.
It's not for me. To say that Drew and I, we went to Universal Orlando a couple years ago, and they have a Despicable Me ride, quote unquote. It's actually not really a ride, if I recall correctly. It's a standing theater experience. But, it was huge and the line was long. Everybody was freaking out about Minions. And I was like, I don't really understand why everybody goes nuts for these talking Twinkies, but okay, whatever. And so, I think I said to Drew when we were in line, it's like, do I have to understand anything for this experience? Like, because I've never seen a movie, any of them. I don't know anything about this, concept. And he's like, no, you'll just. I was like, okay. So we stood in line and we went through. It was interesting. It was entertaining. I felt a little lost, but not very much. And then that actually makes me more concerned, because if I don't have to have any context to understand something like that, then I'm not really sure that it makes me feel like there's anything substantive per se. But then again, maybe the ride was genericized in such a way that it didn't matter who came through. It's difficult for me to know. All I know is that a lot of people find it highly entertaining, and kids seem to love it. So, yay them! They'll go see it. So,
yeah, I'll own it's. I think for kids, it's the idea of the whole you have a parent or what have you that has a different side to them. Like he adopts these three girls ultimately, and they're, he's this evil genius, or at least he was, and then things have changed since then. So it's like this whole like, that's sort of the idea behind it. And you've got the Minions, like I said, that are just stupidly funny, and for whatever reason, I wish to God. I mean, I saw the Minions movie, so I get it, but I don't. Like, I don't know why they're so addictively funny when you don't really understand what they're saying, but it is. It's just this weird sort of concept. I don't know why. But again, like I don't think this is where I was good with the Minions movie. I knew where they came from, quote unquote. I had the two Despicable Me movies that kind of, to me, wrapped everything up with regards to his story and the kid's story and all that stuff. I didn't need this next part that has now added this other element that kind of draws to the first one. So
okay, so
yeah,
let's talk about something that we're probably more interested in.
Sure.
Spider-Man: Homecoming. The cinema movie.
Huh.
What's made by Marvel.
Yeah. So. Given that I haven't seen any of the newer Spider-Man movies, I've I like the idea behind this one. It's sort of a throwback to, it's a throwback Spider-Man. It's the high school. It's the, you know, kind of what grabbed people about the character back in the 60s when there was the high school, that guy who was really smart that got bit and has to deal with that balance of, real life and school and classes and still being a superhero and, costume superhero kind of thing. I want to see it. I don't think I will, though. That I don't know if that makes sense, but like I like the idea behind it.
Yeah, are you just not much of a Spider-Man fan?
No, that's not it. I like the first ones. I like the Tobey Maguire one.
Honestly, this
I
has
know
absolutely nothing to do with the previous Spider-Man movies.
I know that it doesn't.
The only relation that it has is to Civil War.
I know that it doesn't have anything to do with the previous Spider-Man movies. I like those. I was fine with those, if that makes sense. I'm
You're tired.
I'm tired of it. Yeah,
okay.
That's a good way to put it.
Sounds good.
I'm kind of tired of it, but I will, if I happen to catch it online or whatever, maybe I'll see it. But I'm not like going to grab it at the at the theater. I'm not going to go run out and see it.
Cool. Chester, how about you?
I would actually like to see it because I enjoyed the interaction of Spider-Man as a quote-unquote cameo in Civil War. That's really my only catch to it. I mean, I like Marvel movies for what they are. I don't think they're great cinematic masterpieces, but I enjoy them. It's a popcorn movie, like you said earlier. During the trailer, I appreciated the banter between Spider-Man and Iron Man. I liked all the little jokes that they do. It's funny. So I am looking forward to seeing it. I'll probably see it in the theater the first week it comes out, but it won't be something that I need to see immediately the day it comes out.
I think of all the Spider-Man films that have been created, this one makes the least amount of sense to me because it feels like a parallel universe, like J.J. Abrams rewrite kind of concept. I'm so lost on the fact that he's a teenager again when I thought he was a young adult. And now, like, apparently his suit was made by Stark and provided from... I'm so... Like, I don't really understand Marvel. I follow it very minimally, but I'm just like, what in the hell?
Let's start off with this. Spider-Man is, even though originally Marvel property, movie license is to Sony Pictures. So Marvel, in some sense, all they have is their name on the previous Spider-Man movies. It had nothing to do with that. Sony Pictures decided that hey, all these Marvel movies lately that Disney's been doing have been making a lot of money. We want a piece of that. So they struck a deal to put a the Spider-Man of the Avengers universe versus the other two Spider-Men there were. And this one is going to be straight from the beginning. So it doesn't look like they're telling the origin again of Spider-Man, but just kind of like an early days thing. And in the Avengers universe. So it's just in
It is Disney's version of Spider-Man.
Although this is also by Sony.
This is very awkward because what I've gotten, and I'll Gary, just so you understand, someone who is traipsed on Spider-Man in Marvel, I don't really follow it as much. A lot of the elements that I got from this movie are sort of parts of the Miles Morales. It's not Miles Morales, obviously, but the Miles Morales Spider-Man of the Ultimate Universe, where he's a smart kid. He has the I'll go ahead and put it. He has the chubby sidekick who is in the same school with him and is his friend and whatever, and knows that he's Spider-Man, which you find out in this movie is the case. And he was with S.H.I.E.L.D., and he got the suit that he was wearing from S.H.I.E.L.D., which in this case is now Tony Stark and Avengers kind of thing. It's sort of placing elements of that Ultimate Spider-Man into giving it to Peter Parker and then throwing it out as a movie. And that's the part that I'm conflicted about, because there's a big part of me that's like, why don't you just make the Miles Morales one? But they probably can't, because Miles Morales is Marvel/Disney.
Yeah, but
So,
Ultimate Spider-Man was originally Peter Parker, but eventually...
yes,
because
it was originally, and then he died, and then there was another one, and then he was reborn. So we can take comic aspects out of it, because if we go that route, we're going to confuse the fuck out of Gary.
Already confused. Let me rephrase
different
that.
Peter Parker.
I
It just
don't
happens to have
give
aspects of things
a
that people are
flying fuck.
Thank you, Gary.
Already screwed up so much just listening to you explain all these nuances and the property and the rights of this thing, and then there's alternate universes of this person, and then now you're telling me Peter Parker's dead? I'm like, oh, for Christ's sakes, like no wonder people get lost and they kind of don't care about these films. I'm like, you've muddied the water so badly. Who the hell wants to go see this other than people who know everything that you guys know, apparently? Because I'm like, now I don't want another damn Spider-Man in anything in existence. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. It's like, now I get why people got pissed off about rewrites of other like canon genres. I'm like, this is the strangest thing I've ever heard of.
Let me just make it this way. This Spider-Man is the Spider-Man from Civil War, but it's just the regular Spider-Man. The other, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, those were just different movies and have absolutely nothing to do with this. That's all you need to know.
Got it. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Damon decided to actually go into the details of where this Spider-Man was inspired from, but it doesn't matter.
All right.
So moving on.
Yay.
Where are we? We are
Yeah.
at the War for the Planet of the Apes.
Next.
Maybe I'll see it. Just not in theaters or anything. I didn't even see the second one. So.
I saw the. Was it the Rise?
I saw the first one. The Rise.
Yeah, maybe that was Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I saw that one and liked it. It wasn't like, oh my god, like amazing, but I liked it. It wasn't.
No, I saw Dawn. Was it Rise? Dawn?
There's too many. It's hard to tell.
This already says to me the problem the franchise has, that people can't remember what the fuck film was which one.
Because they have too many names. They gave them names as opposed to giving them like
Numbers.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah, instead of numbers. Like they should have given them numbers. Like which one was the first one? I don't remember, because I think maybe it was Rise, but I'm right. I may be wrong. Anyway, I can look it up here in a second. But I like
is when it actually started, and then Rise was after that.
Yeah, who knows?
The point is, they've made a sequel, which is all the summer seems to mostly be.
And it's fine. Like I'm not looking forward to it. I like the first one. I didn't see any of them afterwards because I kind of got the idea behind the first one. It was enough for me to be like, that was enough of a taste of
I got the
where
idea
they were
from
going.
The original Planet of the Apes, starring Charlton Heston.
Yes, but I liked what they did with the first new movie in that they gave you sort of a history. They gave you sort of a story of why this happened and where it came from. And I guess they're trying to continue that story. That's well and good. I had enough in the first one. That was enough for me. I don't need to see these other ones, so I don't plan on seeing War, because it kind of makes sense. I know what's going to, like you said, Jeff, I know what's going to happen. We already know. Like, we know. Like, that's the end result is what Planet of the Apes, the movie, and with Charlton Heston way back when. That's sort of where all of this is sort of going to. So why do we need to see it? Yeah.
I have no desire to see it because of exactly what Damon just said.
No, it's because Damon kept talking and trying to explain it.
Yeah.
I never found any of the films of interest, whether they be the original with Charlton Heston or not. So I don't know. I think it's more my perspective from seeing in the trailer is that it's more allegory about the fact that like we can't understand the concept of humanity and just get along. So, we've just illustrated it through this like conceptual thing about animals that are intelligent and that we're at war with them all the time. Because in the trailer, there's even this discussion, which I think is really what the whole point of the films are about, is that it's, what is it? The quote is something about it's natural for you to want to eradicate us. And I was like, whoa. I was like, that's pretty heavy. And I guess that's what all the films are about. But I wouldn't catch that because I'm too busy paying attention to how nifty the CG graphics are of the primates. Maybe? I don't know. So if they made another film, okay. Maybe this is the last one, although I don't know. If it makes money, I doubt they'll stop. So.
All right.
Next. So who's read some Stephen King?
I have read it when I was in high school.
Did you read the Dark Tower series, or did you read just Stephen King?
Pretty sure I read Dark Tower.
Okay.
Because it was a small collection, right?
I don't know personally. Like, I know that it's very popular. I'm also concerned that because of its popularity, that the film may get like burned at the stake if fans of the fiction don't like what the movie did. I don't know. So
I think at one point in time they were thinking of doing a TV show series that also had a movie. Maybe the movie didn't follow up with the series to kind of go through the entire Dark Tower series, which was more than like 3 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. Last one in 2012. The Gunslinger, The Drawing at 3, The Wasteland, Wizard in Glass, The Little Sisters of Illyria, Wolves of the Kala, Song of Susanna, The Dark Tower, and Green Through the Keep. This is 8 books. But they just listed. Oh, probably because the full tale probably ended at Dark Tower and the Green Through the Keep was just like a thing. But from the trailer, it looks interesting to me. Just the concept of this other world, and just that the gunslinger is like just the way he describes how he shoots, and just like the speed that he reloads his gun.
Yeah.
Jeez. It just looks kind of, it's a mixture of magic and Western. I don't shoot with my hands, I shoot with my heart. It just is kind of fascinating. So I kind of want to see this.
This is one of the ones I marked that I really want to see. Like I don't know the premise, I don't know the books at all, but just based on the trailer alone, it interests me. The idea of another world, the idea of this gunslinger. Hell, it's Idris Elba, who's awesome. I really enjoyed what I saw, and it was enough to grab me to be like, I want to go see that, because it was really well done. The trailer was really well done. It looks like it's going to be really well made. I agree with you, Gary, that since it's one of these ones that's based on a book, that there's probably going to be some issues with continuity and it not staying true to the books and what have you. As someone who hasn't read it, I don't think I'm going to worry too much about it, but I feel that people probably will, and that may affect how it is reviewed.
Possible. Dusher, Gary?
I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen any trailers for it.
Aww.
Oh, you didn't pull up the trailer in our list? Gary?
I'm hopeful that it does well. I know that some people might go see it automatically because it comes from Stephen King's mind originally, although he also seems to have a significant amount of criticism that when his stuff goes to film, whether it be for the small screen television or big screen theater, that it doesn't always do well. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I personally don't have any interest in going and seeing it. It just doesn't appeal to me. I got lost in the trailer for quite a while. I think ultimately in the end I sort of understood what was happening. And it's not that I have to understand it, but it just didn't kind of grab me. So it's okay.
Yeah. The Mist, I think, was pretty good movie. That's Next up, an inconvenient sequel, which is basically I can't think of his name. Al Gore. His response to Trump being a global warming denier. And a follow-up
Okay.
to Inconvenient Truth. So.
My understanding is that Al Gore, since the release of An Inconvenient Truth, that documentary, has been steadfastly working so hard to continue to keep the message moving forward. He's gotten a huge amount of criticism. And I believe there might have been like a mini documentary or something about 2 years ago, which was kind of a behind the scenes about the making of and then the promoting of the first one. So this to me is, basically, again, it's part of the series of the summer. Apparently we're, either redoing things over or we're continuing them on. And this is a continuation. But I agree that the trailer very much came across as political in that,
It is. Yeah.
Well, right. I mean, I think it's being effective in making people sort of pay attention, although I feel like we live in a very polarizing environment right now as a country, so I don't know if it's going to cross the aisle, like if it's going to get other people to engage. I'm too concerned that it has a bigger message, which is far more important than politics.
Yeah.
But that people won't put the politics aside and they'll be like, people who are supportive of our current president will be like, oh, it's just bashing, blah, blah, blah. And so they won't even bother to watch or try to get any of the message out of it.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that was my main problem with the trailer. Is the trailer very heavy-handed? The Trump angle. It very heavy-handedly pushed that, as opposed to pushing the global warming and the fact that it is an issue and it's become a case and that we needed to kind of focus on that. I'm kind of like, I personally probably won't see it. I don't like being preached to personally. I know what's going on. I'm doing my best as a person to make sure that I'm trying to make the world a better place for the future. But I agree with you, Gary, that I feel that it'll be, for those who will probably go see it, it'll be like preaching to the choir. And for those that should see it, they won't see it because they're going to put too much of, they're going to toss it aside because, it's against the president or against, this or that. And they won't go see it when they're the ones that probably should see it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was feeling about it. It's going to be way too politically driven, and it's not going to be taken that way. And the trailer itself is just, it's not, the message in the trailer is not what the movie really is supposed to be about.
I'm wondering if the trailer was crafted to get the eyeballs. And that the movie itself, that the documentary, this sequel to the original, this documentary really isn't going to be so politically heavy-handed. But then again, maybe they feel like, they only have to do minimal or some explaining of the concepts of what's happening, because I think the first one was really trying to sell and educate at the same time what this thing is. So, we won't know until we see it. I probably will see it, but that's because I like documentaries, and I really liked the first one as much as it was disturbing. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I hope that it's successful and that it, continues with his mission to try to, convince governments and countries and, laypersons about the reality that is now versus outcomes. So, yeah.
It reminds me of, I think it was the very first episode of Bill Nye Saves the World I went through. Global warming. It kind of reminds me. One of the things is we keep talking about climate change. We keep talking about it, and people are getting upset that we keep talking about climate change. It's like, well, stop talking about climate change if you do something. And this is kind of another thing. It's like another movie about climate change. Well, yeah, because we're not doing much, if anything, about it. So I think it's interesting. Yeah. I'm not a documentary person, so it's just, should we hit our final one here?
Sure.
Speaking of Stephen King, we had a remake. I don't know if it's directly a remake per se, or it's a remaking or something. The Crazy Clown's back.
I don't know the movie because it's when the first one came out. Obviously, it was I was younger, and I don't like horror movies, and I was scared of clowns for a while. So clowns, yeah, clowns are not one of my favorite things. So especially growing up, there was I won't go into that. There's a reason for it, but I've gotten over it now. But I like that they were kind of playing homage to the original movie. Like I said, I don't know if it's a direct remake. It could just be it looks like it's going to be sorry, I'm reading Wikipedia as I'm talking. It looks like it's going to be the first installment of a planned duology. So maybe not exactly a remake as a rehashing. But if I were a horror fan movie, the trailer would have grabbed me enough to be like, I really want to see it. I'm not a horror movie fan, so like Gary, I don't like getting scared. So I'm not going to see it, but I could see why people would want to see it. The trailer was enough to be like intriguing enough to me to be like, ooh, that looks really fun. That looks really spooky and scary. And I like some of the things that they did with it that gave it a interest to me. So we'll see. Yeah. Next.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I read the book in high school, or at least tried to read the book in high school because it's really fucking thick.
That's what he said.
I just tried watching the first one, the first iteration of the movie, and I didn't really care for it. So I'm hoping.
You guys can't see this, but I just face palmed.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
I made a stupid joke while you were talking. It's okay. I got reactions from the other people. So you said the book is really fucking thick, and I said that's what he said, and Gary was shaking his head, and Jeffrey face palmed.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it.
Gary?
I don't have an interest in seeing this. That said, there is a morbid curiosity because I did watch the television miniseries, if that seems correct, which I did not enjoy watching at the time, but like it made an impression on me because I remember it and actually being completely befuddled by the ending. And apparently that's the way the book ends or whatever. So it's very confusing because things aren't exactly what you think they are. But then again, isn't that what Stephen King's about? So yeah, I'm not sure if this will do well. I have a concern that people will criticize it, comparing it to the first one and that kind of stuff. And but at the same time, I get why you might redo something because it's been a while, and now you've got other, generations that will not go back. I mean, it's kind of like why some black and white films are redone because there are absolutely people who just will not watch a black and white film. So maybe that's part of the concept behind this, that it's, being redone. I will say that the trailer unnerved me. Even though I kind of know better, it was disturbing to me to see the sequence with the kid, like knowing that it's going to end bad eventually if it doesn't right away in the trailer. Yeah. So I was just like, yeah. So yeah, it was successful. Let's put it that way, in terms of that.
It really freaked me out, like spooked me. And that's why I could see people going to see it. Like the ones that like the horror movies, that like the creepy trailers and like the movies like this, you're going to love this, I think. I'm not, because that's not my thing. Yeah.
That's what, folks. That's it. That's it for the movies, at least. I think after all that heated discussion, shade being thrown, and jokes laughing, I think we really need to go into this. Tummy Tuesday of Chocolate Thunder. It's shirtless, thick, black guy taking a selfie in the mirror and the hat on backwards.
Kind of cute.
He's got great skin. I don't know. There's just something makes me want to touch it.
Okay.
Like
I like, but yeah. It's a good picture. It's a good selfie. Mm-hmm. I'm curious. I really want to know what his tattoo means. That's the part, and I know if it's in a mirror, it's probably flipped, but I kind of want to know what it means. That's the weird part of me.
Beef ramen.
Stop.
Get out of my head. That stuff, like, I think that, hieroglyphs or symbolism, like other languages written, in a different format are, like, very artistically beautiful and intriguing. And, people choose tattoos. What freaks me out the most is later you find out that does not mean anything like you think it means. Like, it's just actually completely random other crap. And I'm like...
because they go into Google Translate and type in what means love in Japanese. And then it Google translates, and you take that symbol... but that's not really what it means because it translates something different.
Yeah. So anyway. I'm hoping that his tattoo actually is authentic and does mean something significant. Obviously for him because he put it on his body. So
yeah.
And not beef ramen.
No. Hopefully not beef ramen.
Right. He's handsome. I'd do him.
I was gonna say Chester's hungry. I think is really what we're learning right now. But
God. All right. So for me, I actually gave you 2, only because it's the same person, and I love the aesthetics of both of them. This is GWS Gingerface from Tumblr, and it's two very interesting pictures. He seems to be very talented and in dance and balance and whatnot, and I just really liked these two pictures of him. He mentions in the first one of fact that he does, audition and rehearsals and whatnot. So I'm wondering if he is an actual performer of some kind, whether that's a dancer or a actor. But the pictures both grabbed me for different reasons. They're very well done, and yeah, he's got a good butt too.
Where does he live?
I think he lives in
UK.
Australia, either UK or Australia.
I would say UK because in one of them it says, "Come see
From the bush to the city."
At the Glory DN free at 10 p.m. £5 after.
I mean, if you go to his Tumblr, he's
Wow.
he's got a lot of pictures of himself, which is really cool. And he's in London, so well, at least he's visiting London.
I think he now lives in London.
Okay. Still cute.
He's
nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It just these pictures just randomly showed up on my Tumblr feed, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. And the guy who reblogged a whole bunch of them, but I only grabbed these two specifically. Yeah, there you go. Chester.
So my Tumblr link is to our good friend Mr. Foxbear.
Whoop whoop.
Our other good friend, Mr. Killer Bob, has turned Foxbear into a T-shirt design.
Nice.
I'm glad you finished that with the design.
And that turned him into a T-shirt.
Leviosa. That would be very depressing. To turn chest bear into just an item of apparel.
But I would love
to want to wear chess all day long.
All right, so yes, I mean, I already tried to make chess on your chest a hashtag that isn't really seeming to take off yet, but yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can show as much of this I can to the audience here, so you'll see it. Since this is actually, easy. We got Chess being really happy when there's the shirt here.
He it's so funny because Chess wore that at Claw, and he was understandably proud of it. I think he was a little annoyed with me because I wasn't trying to challenge him, but he, was talking about how it's him. And I was like, and I was like, so I kind of was like, I think I said something about like, it doesn't look like him or whatever. And he's like, well, I modeled for it and I was the inspiration. I'm like, right. But like the guy that the actual drawing is of, to me, does not look like Chess. Like I see Chess in it, but it doesn't look exactly like him, which I get, it's art. It looks exactly like somebody else I know. The problem I'm having is every time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, but you look like a dude from Cleveland. I know. The shirt does the design. It just
really.
I will say I love the shirt. I love the idea and the concept behind it. I don't think it's not available until IML, which is in a few weeks or a couple of weeks. But I think I will get it. I'm not 100% sure I will, but I love the idea behind the shirt. It's very, it captures a lot of what I like about Chess's overall aesthetic. The cigar, the leather, the wristband, although I'm hoping that's on his left hand. No, it's not. Anyway, sorry. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's in a mirror, I think. Either way. It's just a good overall picture of him, and it's a good picture of Chess. I like the shirt, I will maybe get it, and I like the color scheme behind it because it kind of reminisces to the leather pride flag. There's white, there's red, there's blue.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Gary?
So I think for the first time in all these years I've been on the podcast, I'm actually going to pick something that I'm in. And this isn't to be narcissistic. Like, it cracked me up so much that I was like, oh, yeah. This is related to Claw. So Chester, our co-host, and Dozer were part of the cadre of photographers at Claw, busy taking pictures. And we went to the cigar deck on Saturday night, I think.
Saturday night, yep.
Yeah,
it was
and
Saturday
that was
night.
before going. It was before going to the pup handler thing, I think, or something like that.
After.
So we showed up there, and Chester all of a sudden says, "Oh." Like, he starts counting. He's like, so-and-so's in a kilt, and so-and-so's in a kilt. And then the number just kept going up. And ultimately, I think there was, well, let's see. In the picture, there's 7, but I think there might have been 1 or 2 other people.
There were
he was
2
like,
people that were in our small little group, and they turned around and walked off. It was David Dolewood and his partner.
Yay!
So who are the people in the picture? I'm actually showing this to everybody.
Okay, so over on the far left, you have Aaron Hudd, who is currently the North American Muscle Bear 2017 from Kentucky. And then there's Burlick, who he has his arm around. And then Burlick's husband, JP, is the floating head. And then you see me kind of in the center. And then Cameron is in between Dane and myself. And then Chester's on bended knee. Surprise, surprise.
Nice.
So, no, it was just pretty cool that, like, there was unintentionally a group of us that were all wearing kilts at the same time. So, it was pretty funny that, he was like, oh, he's like, let's take a picture or whatever. And then what's hysterical is the 2 photographers are both carrying cameras, but both need to be in the picture. So then we need to find somebody. So Chester, like, graciously hands off his financial investment device to somebody to take a picture. So yeah, it was quite fun that we quickly did a picture. This is one of, I think, definitively 2 or more pictures of us together, because somebody decided they wanted to have a funny picture, which to me is in some ways a better picture, because in that one I want nothing to do with the second photo or whatever in the series that's being taken, because somebody thought it would be funny, since we were wearing kilts, to flash the camera, which I thought was just uncalled for.
The person who actually technically flashed the camera in that picture, the one you shared with us, was Dane.
It's Dane.
Because Chester lifted it up, but you didn't see it.
Well, it's because I was turned, but
I think it was mostly about the timing of the photo, though. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure in that other photo that our audience is now hearing us describe and is not seeing, which probably is pissing them off. Like, I thought pretty much everybody did lift theirs except for me. But the picture that did turn out is actually more hysterical because of the look on my face and what's happening. But so yeah. But anyways, this is just, it was a fun moment during the weekend,
Yeah.
And so we got it for posterity's sake.
And I was at Claw, and that was one of the things. Like, I had my kilts. I had 2 kilts packed, and I never wore a single one because it was butt ass cold out there, and I chose to stay warm and and comfort. Although you see me running around in a singlet. I was running around in just a singlet from some of the time. So so that's where I'm calling shenanigans and bullshit on your, like, it was cold.
And I was
It
like,
was.
really? So that singlet really kept you that goddamn warm compared to a kilt? I'm just saying, like, mm-hmm. So, just for the record, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it was good. So, anyways, I just wanted to be able to put that in, just as a fun moment. I know it's not an ideal picture moment because Dane probably would have preferred that his eyes were open at the moment, and Cameron wasn't screaming, yelling, whatever the hell he was doing.
Okay. Really quick, because I noticed that too when I fired this off. There's about 6 photos total of us in our kilts. There are 2 good photos, this one and another one, but there's certain people in the other good one that aren't in that photo. However, Dane's face, he's looking at the camera and smiling. So I was able to go into Photoshop and swap the faces, and everything's fine with that. But then you've got Cameron in the back doing Cameron, and there's not any decent photos where Cameron's looking at the camera with a smile or anything like that. It's just him fucking off like normal. So I did update the picture with Dane looking at the camera and smiling.
Oh, that's nice.
The reason why this one was posted is because I was like, okay, well, I've got 6 of them. This is the best one. And I fired this off while we were still at Claw.
Oh my God. So I love, total side note, I'm loving Aaron's vest. I love the bear paws down the side. I am living for that vest.
I'm pretty certain that that's a Wolf Striker vest that he was provided to him.
So, one of the other title holders has a vest also that was made. I believe all of the title holders, that was part of their package, that they got a vest from Wolf Striker. And one of the other title holders that was there that weekend at Claw also has those paw prints, but not in the same place. Their paw prints are the same, 6 colors of the Bear Pride flag, but Aaron's are down the one side of the front panel. The other person, I think they are along the side or maybe wrapping around the back, but it's the same concept that it's a cutout with the other color underneath it. It's actually pretty cool. Like, I mean, it looks good in the photo, but up front, up close, I saw Aaron's first, and I complimented him on it when we were on the cigar deck. I saw it, and I was like, wow. I'm like, that looks really great. Like, just visually to, be able to see it and stuff, so.
Yeah. Cameron's is kind of the same way. His has bones as well as paw prints, and they're kind of in like a pattern, and it looks really, really cool.
Yay.
Moving into the links, just quickly here, I'm going to talk about a fast show, or an alpha show. So if you've ever heard me talk about Critical Role being on Project Alpha, which is Geek and Sundry and Nerdist's like paid platform. Well, Geek and Sundry has another role-playing game show called Vast, which has writers, and they have like 10 people, but they're basically 2 crews of 2 different ships, and it's a science fiction adventure instead of a fantasy adventure. So it's pretty neat. It's really cool. I've been binging that to get caught up. They're in season 2 right now. 4 of the episodes are currently up on YouTube, so I linked that. And I'm also linked to Project Alpha. I think I got it to the show page. I don't know how all that linking stuff works because it's kind of dynamic sort of thing, but otherwise, I find Alpha is great mainly because I really like Talks Machina, which is the talk show, Q&A for Critical Role, and then now I'm huge into Vast, so
nice.
Which I'm finding interesting. It's a very different type of RPG. Instead of the D20 style, it's the success style, where you roll a certain number of dice, and based off of your rolls, you get each die has a certain like threshold for success. I don't know what the specifics of the rules are. I'm assuming like 6 to 10, it's a success. 5 to 1, it's a failure. 1s are crit fails, and 10s are crit successes. So across 2, the crit fail is basically 2 failures instead of just 1. So it's, which is kind of weird, but you then it's like roll 24 of these dice. They use some digital rulers too, but I found it really, really kind of cool. They're like, each episode is like 3-4 hours in length, so they do have some time. If you like to see live role-playing games, I think this is a great one. They kind of like their overlay and everything, and the mythology of the world is pretty interesting. So, best.
Cool.
Damon?
So these showed up on my YouTube suggested videos recently. If you remember the movie Dreamgirls, the Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson movie, the first, there's going to be 2 videos here. Essentially, the second one is the video that was put out. It was the touring cast of West Story did these very fun dance remakes of the 2 songs from the movie Dreamgirls. There's the Hard to Say Goodbye and then the actual Dreamgirls song. And someone then took that video and then the first video is that and compared it to the actual scenes from the movie. They do a really good job, the dancers do, of showing the same movements and looks and whatnot. So it just really blew me away. So there's that. So Dreamgirls, and I know it's been a while, but it just happened to show up on my YouTube likes, and I found it really fascinating. Yeah.
The link is to Killer Bob Graphics. I'm going a little bit different than what I normally do for my links because we've got Pride coming up, and Killer Bob always has really awesome Pride shirts, and I like wearing his gear. Plus, it ties into earlier with the picture of chess, and you can find it at killerbob.com.
Yeah, I've actually I have several of his shirts. It was when I was at Claw, I actually packed pretty much all of them. I didn't wear all of them, but I packed all of them. We even wore the same shirt, Chester and I did, for the recording of the video for our recording. So, yeah. Gary?
Okay.
Gary?
People might have already seen this, but it's a YouTube video from Heineken, but just like kind of bear with. It was a really profound concept for a marketing idea. It's about 4 minutes long. It's called Worlds Apart, an Experiment. So the underlying advertising is about beer as a product. However, it's so minimal in really what it's trying to say. They put people together in an experiment that are known to have opposite views on very specific kind of hot button or nerve touch issues, and they work together collectively on things, and then find out at the very end they watch video of the people that they're with. It's just couples, there's duos. They see video of the other person talking about the hot button item that they didn't know that the other person is on the other end of. So there's a woman who is trans who was helping, was partnered with a guy, and then they watched the video that was pre-taped of him talking about why he has problems with trans people and so on and so forth. And then you get to see her reaction of watching him say this previously before they met and interacted. And that's just one example of different things. It's so awesome. For me personally, I just loved how stimulating it was that conceptually they put this together. Yes, it's marketing and branding, and I get that. But I think if the entire thing was manufactured it was done really, really well. If it was done the way it's presented as an actual experiment, and they utilized it for the sake of promoting a product, which is basically, in the end, the concept is, get together with a stranger and have a beer and find out who they are. I just really liked it, so I suggest people take a little bit to watch it. And
that beer should be Heineken.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be a beer. Have a martini. Have a Cosmo. Drink. Cheers, bitches.
True.
Anyways, guess what, folks? It's finally the end of the show. Not an awe. It's finally the end of the show. Well, anyways, to contact us, you can pop over to cubsoutloud.com, where there's a link there to our store. Just click COL merchandise, or you can go directly there at zazzle.com/cubsoutloud. You can help me upgrade my rig, make better streams. This video thing is actually really fun and pretty cool. So we want to keep doing it and possibly make it better. Go to gofundme.com/COLstream. You can also leave us a voicemail, sexy or otherwise, at 361-265-8255. That's 361-COL-TALK. Follow us on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, where you can watch a video of the show if you're listening to us on audio, at youtube.com/cubsoutloud. Cubsoutloud is the appropriate place in the other places. Join us in the Bear Underground, the official Bear website of Cubs Out Loud, and join us in the Cubs Out Loud Entourage group. You'll see us post what's going on there, but you can post whatever you want to say. Say hello. Rate us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us through Google Play Podcasts. Listen to us on Stitcher Radio, where you can give us a thumbs up. You can find me anywhere in the internet as BoxTech, Box Puppy, Box Cub, Box something or other.
I am TheaterCub79 on Bear Underground, Tumblr, Growler, HeftyNet, Facebook, wherever. And you can find me on Twitter as pup_Umbra.
You can find me just about anywhere on the web under the name Cupcake76 or Pup Shutter.
You could pretty much find me anywhere on the web as Garbear73. That's GARBEAR73.
And with that, say good night, everybody!
Good night, everybody!
Good night, everyone.
Have a good one, y'all.
For a show length is?
No.
No.
Okay, just curious.
I don't think today was trying to break it either.